Hello everyone, how are you all doing? So today here we are back with a new video on view range settings for floor plan as well as for ceiling plan. Okay, so here this is a sample project which I have opened, which has windows as well as some door. And today we will understand how the viewing settings for the ceiling as well as for the floor plan work. I have seen even experienced people struggling with this, but at the end of this video, you will be getting well versed with the primary viewing settings and you will not be struggling. Okay, so let us start off with the ceiling plan. There are three important things which I would like to tell you is that in case of seating plan, you will be seeing things from bottom to top. Just assume that you are sitting on the floor plan. I mean, you are sitting on the floor and you are seeing the ceiling on top. Okay, so from bottom to top. But in case of floor plan, you will be seeing from top to bottom. Okay, second thing, whatever elements are there in between the view depth as well as touch plane, only those elements will be visible. Okay, third thing is the view depth value has to be greater or equal to primary range value. Okay, and the top primary range value should not be lesser than cut plane. Okay, so these are the three things which you have to keep in mind when you are working with ceiling plan. Fine, so here I will come in the elevation view, and what we will be doing is we want to see this door as well as this window. So for that purpose, I have kept the cut plane at an elevation of 1700. And as I said, my view depth value has to be greater than or equal to primary range value. So my view depth is greater than my top primary range value. Okay, but my top clip plane is lesser than cut plane. Hence, Revit will give me an error. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to make sure that our top plane is higher than our cut plane. So what we will do, we will keep this as 1800. Okay, we'll keep this as 1800 and we'll just bring this somewhat down here in such a manner that it is cutting our window as well as our door. Okay, all right. So what did I tell just now? We want to see this door as well as this window in the ceiling plan, and the very first thing that you have to make sure is the view depth value has to be greater or equal to the top clip plane, and the cut plane has to be lesser than the top clip plane. Okay, in short, if you want to understand in other manner, the ceiling viewing settings will be running in anti-clockwise direction. It will be running in anti-clockwise direction, wherein the view depth has to be greater or equal to top, and this top clip range has to be greater than the cut plane. All right, so we will be going in the anti-clockwise direction. Fine. So let me just see the values that I have mentioned here. So the top view depth is 1900. Top is at 1500. Top is at 1500. Okay, let us keep this as 1700 and 1500. All right. So what will happen? We are able to see window as well as the door. Why this is visible? Because these two elements are in between the view depth as well as the cut plane. Okay, now I will keep my top clip plane as 1500 and I will go on increasing my view depth. See, as my view depth is cutting this window as well as this window is resting below the view depth, I didn't do any changes to my top clip plane. It's just that my view depth is greater than the top clip plane. Now, how many elements will be visible? All these three windows will be visible. Why it will be visible? Along with the door, because this all elements are in between the cut plane and the view depth. Okay, so now what I will do, I will keep the value as 4500 for my view depth. Okay, 4500 view depth. Okay, see what has happened. This window is visible, this door is visible, this window and this window. See, all the four elements are visible. Why? Because these four elements are in between view depth and cut plane. Okay, top clip plane has meaning, but these elements which are there resting in between view depth and cut plane, Revit considers this element as beyond elements. Okay, if I want to take this into consideration, for example, my view depth I'll be keeping equal to 4500. This time I will take my top clip plane on top. Okay, my top clip plane I'll be keeping at 6500. Okay, but Revit will not allow me to do this. Why? Because I have told you at the start, the top clip plane has to be lesser than the view depth. The view depth should be always greater than the top clip plane. But still, I will keep top clip plane as 6500 just to show you guys that Revit will give me an error. See, 6500. Revit gives me an error. Okay, it says that the view depth is set below the top clip plane. All right, so now what we will do is, as I have, like this time I'll be taking view depth on top to 6500 and my top clip plane at bottom. Okay, so my top clip plane is at bottom and my cut plane I will take on top. Okay, so now what will happen? I want to see this window as well. Okay, to keep this window visible, my cut plane should cut this window, or else it has to be somewhere closer to the view depth. Okay, and now my top clip plane is at 5000 value. Again, Revit will give me an error because this top clip plane is lesser than the cut plane. So this top clip plane has to be greater than the cut plane. I will keep this as 5700 or else 6000. Okay, this is at 5600, 5700, 5700, and this 5600 and 6500 for this one. What will happen? What will happen? Now what has happened is only this particular window is visible. Why? Because my cut plane and my view range, I mean my cut plane and my view depth are the values which are cutting this window. Rest all elements are below. Okay, so here in case of ceiling plan, elements, only those elements will be visible which are in between view depth and cut plane. View depth value has to be greater than the top clip plane. Top clip plane value has to be greater than the cut plane. Okay, and no matter where your top clip plane is above the cut plane, but only those elements will be visible which are lying in between view depth and cut plane. Okay, I'll just demonstrate one more. Okay, for example, I want to see this window. Okay, so for seeing this window, I will be keeping my view depth over here. I'll keep my view depth over here and my top and my cut plane just cutting this window. Okay, and my top clip plane has to be coming down. Okay, has to be coming down, so this will be here at what value we will give to this, to 3200. Okay, all right, fine. So cut plane, no, this has to be 3300 or else it will give us the error. 3300. All right, So what is our main intention? Our main intention is that we just want to see this window. We don't want to see any other elements. Okay. So now in order to see this window, my view depth is sitting at an height of 3432. 3432. And my top clip plane is sitting at an elevation of 3300. And my cut plane 3200. Okay. See what has happened. We are seeing only this window. Why? Because this is the window which is resting in between view depth as well as cut plane. All right. So I hope your ceiling plan viewing setting is done and you will not be finding any difficulty when you will be working on the project. Okay. Now let us understand how the viewing setting works for floor plan. For floor plan, you have to go clockwise direction. When I say clockwise direction, it means that the top clip plane has to be greater or equal to the cut plane, and your bottom value has to be lesser than the top view, and your view depth also has to be lesser than your top view. Okay. For example, if I want to see the entire elements the entire elements which are here. So in order to see these elements, what I will be doing is I will move my top clip plane on top. Okay. Top clip plane on top. My view depth will be coming at the bottom, and my cut plane will be my cut plane. Let me just take this up, and my cut plane will be somewhere here. Okay. So now what will happen if I keep the settings? Okay. Understand my view depth. Okay. Let us keep view depth somewhere here. No, let us keep where it was before. Okay. My view depth is at an elevation of 2800, and my top clip plane is at an elevation of 6000, and cut plane is at elevation of 4800. Okay. So now what elements will be visible in my floor plan? So in order to understand that, let us understand first this thing. This is the top clip plane. So this is setting the boundary for the top area. Okay. So the top clip plane. View depth is at an elevation of 2800, and my cut plane is at an elevation of 2800. So now this view depth is setting the boundary limitation for the bottom view. Okay. As I said before, for floor plan, you will be seeing the elements from top to bottom. So whatever elements are there below 2800, those elements will not be visible in floor plan. For example, this window, this door, and this window will not be visible. Only these three elements will be visible. Okay. So let us demonstrate that. 6000, 2800, 4800. Okay. 6000. And then this will be 2800, and this will be 4000. Okay. And this also have to be 2800. In case of ceiling plan, this bottom view range doesn't doesn't has any meaning, but here in floor plan this has made. Okay. So now what will happen? Let me just check the values again. I think I have kept 4000, not 400. All right. See what are visible. These three elements are visible. Why these three elements are visible? Because these three elements are lying in between the top clip range and the view depth. As these two elements are lying below the view depth, hence it's not visible. Okay. If we want to see these two elements as well, we have to bring view depth below or cutting this door at an elevation of 300. If I keep 300, all the elements will be visible. See, door is visible, this window is visible, this window, everything is visible. Okay. So I'll just rephrase. For ceiling, only those elements will be visible which are lying in between cut plane and view depth. But in case of floor plan, only those elements will be visible which are lying in between top as well as view depth. Clear? So here cuts plane is taken into consideration in case of ceiling plan, but in case of floor plan, top as well as view depth, these two primary values are taken into consideration. So I believe I have made things very clear, and let me know if still there are any further questions. And thank you so much. We will be back soon with a new video. And as always, let us rise and shine together. Thank you so much.